Welcome to this webinar on WordPress. WordPress is a very powerful free program that allows you to build either a WordPress blog or a website. You can do both with the same software, or you can do one or the other. Some people only have a blog, some people only have a website. What you do need to realize is that there are a couple things that you have to have in advance. Number one is you have to have a domain name. The domain name will be www. Possibly the name of your company or something to that effect. It's best not to abbreviate. Don't use long abbreviations, don't use long cutoffs, but also don't use very long words. So you wouldn't want something like over 72 characters would be way too long for a domain name. So take that into consideration, and sometimes it's also good if your domain name is not available to add something in like a demographic, such as let's say that your company is Best Burgers. Well, Best Burgers probably is not a domain name that's available, so you may want to do Best Burgers in Eugene, Oregon. Now, Eugene, Oregon might be kind of long, so you could do Best Burgers Eugene. An example of a bad domain name would be, there's a company that I've done some work for that is a nonprofit, and their thing is the Equina Pacific Historical Railroad Society. Way too long. So they just went with Equina Pacific RR. RR is railroad. It's a very commonly used term for railroad would be RR. So take that into consideration in cutting those down shorter, but also keeping the keywords that are relevant to your business. Another thing you may want to consider when you're making a domain name, some people will ask, do I do a .com, a .org, a .net? Org is for an organization. It is commonly known as for nonprofits and organizations. It's best if you don't have an organization to try not to get a .org, but try to get a .com or a .net. Even a .biz is a good idea, but you definitely don't need all three unless you're doing a long, huge amount of branding and want to buy extras. But just stick with the .coms and the .nets. If somebody has your .com name, go ahead and pick up the .net game. It's really up to you. But you have to first have a domain name. Now, your domain name does not have to be purchased from the company that you intend to do hosting with. A hosting is your place you're going to take all of your WordPress files and put them into hosting. I commonly refer to the domain name as your address and your hosting as your house. So you have to have a house to put your files in, a house on the internet, and call it a hosting. Now, there's different places to get hosting. I cannot recommend one over the other. However, I ask that you take a look around. There's a lot of different pricing. Most hosting for a WordPress site will not run you more than $100 a year. If you're finding hosting at a much higher rate, you need to keep looking because it shouldn't cost you that much to run a very large site on WordPress. Easily can be done within $100 a year. Also, when you look for hosting, there's two things to consider. One of the things is they have quick install, which means that they already have WordPress installed on the host provider, which means they already have the things within the house for WordPress. If they don't have that, you can still get WordPress and put it on any server out there and put it in your hosting program. But some of them have a quick install, which is a one-button install for WordPress, and it's part of your hosting plan. If it doesn't have that, we have included in this section of video a how to install WordPress by creating a database and then uploading files through an FTP program. But look, because both ways are simple, but the hosting provider that already has it loaded may be a very simple solution for you.